Did you ever wish you could actually enjoy the process of building good habits instead of struggling to stick with them? In this video, I'll share how I completely rewired my brain to genuinely enjoy the process of building positive and productive habits like exercising, eating well, reading, planning. After struggling for years, I thought I wasn't the type of person for good habits. The problem was that doing them felt like a big chore, but not doing them made me feel bad about myself and the direction my life was going. But everything changed after applying some simple mental and physical strategies. Now I genuinely enjoy my daily routine, and my good habits feel natural and rewarding, turning me into a healthier and happier version of myself. Hello friends and welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, my name is Mary. I'm a doctor turned entrepreneur, and in this channel I talk about personal development in a very practical way to help you create a real change in your life. Make sure to subscribe for more videos on creating a life you love. The key to improving our quality of life is in our daily habits. When it comes to building good habits, most people are very clear on the why they want to build good habits. And in general, people are looking to build good habits to feel more confident, more energized, more aligned, more accomplished, to feel healthier and happier every single day. However, the part that most people are not very clear on is how to build good habits, especially in an easy, enjoyable, and sustainable way. Today I'll share the mental and physical strategies that I personally used to make the habit change process more enjoyable rather than a chore. I basically went from dealing with my emotions by eating chocolate, binge watching TV series, mindless scrolling on social media, to now becoming the type of person who loves eating healthy, working out, and being outdoors, and also truly enjoys reading, meditating, and journaling. The change didn't happen overnight, but I'm so proud of myself for sticking to my plan and staying consistent with my change. In this video, I'm going to share some strategies that helped me transform my life. But if you want the full guide, make sure to check out my Life Mastery Challenge video here, which is where I shared a habit challenge designed to transform your life. If you're ready to prioritize your goals, the Life Mastery Challenge is the perfect opportunity for you to become the healthiest, wealthiest, and happiest version of yourself. I'm personally taking the Life Mastery Challenge as well, and I just completed the first out of the 3 phases. So I'm going to share my progress and results with you. So without further ado, let's dive into the habit change strategies first, and then I'm going to share an update on my habit challenge. When it comes to the mental strategies for habit change, it is really important that you start with committing to the change. As they say, what doesn't challenge you won't change you. And I see that the biggest mistake that people make here is to wait for the perfect time. But in reality, when they postpone this habit change, what they're actually doing is procrastinating on that process, which will postpone their dream life. And the reason why most people think they need to wait until a better time is because they are making the whole process much more complex than it needs to be in their heads. And that's why I designed the Life Mastery Challenge to have 3 phases. So in the first phase, you can start small, start where you are. And then in the second phase, you can review your progress from the first phase and decide what are the changes you want to make. Instead of sitting there and waiting for the perfect time in your life when you actually have time to exercise 7 times a week, an hour and a half each day, the idea of the first phase of the challenge is to allow you to start super small. That way you make the habit change process a lot easier and you stop procrastinating the start. When it comes to building good habits, it is really important that you tune out of your inner critic voice and start listening to your inner cheerleader voice. And there's always going to be a voice telling you all the reasons why you can't, why this is not the right time, or that this isn't for you. And as long as you listen to this inner critic voice, you're in trouble. You really need to tune into your inner cheerleader voice. And that is the voice that says, yes, you can do this. Things will turn out for the best and good things are coming your way. And if you have been listening to your inner critic voice for a very long time, you probably can't even hear your inner cheerleader voice anymore. So you really need to nurture your relationship with your inner cheerleader. And that's when journaling comes in very handy. When you're journaling, you're teaching your mind a more productive way to work, more positive thoughts to have. If I were to make an analogy here for what journaling does to your mind, it is almost like you're installing a software update in your operating system. Installing this software update in your mind is what's going to allow you to make lasting changes. Because at the end of the day, it is our thoughts that create our reality. So changing our thoughts is like changing the root cause for everything that manifests in your life. Doing your good habits is a way of showing your future self how much you love them and care for them. Whenever you're saving money now, you're saving this money for your future self. Whenever you're working out now, you're making your future self more confident and stronger. And whenever you're eating healthy now, you're building a healthier body for your future self. When you reframe your habit change in this way, it makes the process so much easier and more enjoyable. And in terms of breaking bad habits, you can train your mind to remind yourself how bad you feel after doing that habit and how much more difficult the life of your future self will be if you keep repeating this habit. And by changing your mindset in that way, performing the bad habit won't have the same satisfaction that it used to have. So this was the strategy that I used to basically stop eating processed foods. By just reminding myself about the chemicals and the production process, that makes the food so much more unattractive to me. And every time I have whole foods, I just take some time to appreciate how Mother Nature is abundant and provides us with all these delicious foods. And this is actually one of the strategies that James Clear shares in his book Atomic Habits. I summarized the main ideas from his book in this video, so make sure to watch it next. In terms of the physical strategies that you can do to support your habit change is to join a community of like-minded people. So you want to join a community where your desired habit is already the norm or what people aspire to, because we humans are social beings and we thrive off this human interaction and positive reinforcement from other people. So every time you put yourself in an environment where people are criticizing, judging other people who are doing the habits you want to be doing, you're basically sabotaging your own success. To set yourself up for success, join communities where people celebrate and support others in creating the habits you want to do. Let's say if you want to start living a healthier life, join a community where people support each other in building a healthier life. My second tip related to physical strategies is about designing your environment to work for you instead of against you. By strategically designing your environment, you can make the whole habit change process so much easier. To stop eating processed foods, you can just stop buying them. By making that one-time decision not to buy them when you are at the grocery shop, you will basically not have to fight the urge of eating processed foods when you're home. And if you live with other people who buy those processed foods, you can just think to yourself that those foods, they are theirs and not yours to eat. To stop overusing your phone at night and in the morning, you can leave it in another room or just out of your reach. That way you will prevent yourself from lying in bed scrolling endlessly. This is another one-time decision that you make that allows you to make the right decision in the future. Another option to reduce the use of distracting apps is to use an app called Opal. This is the app that I personally use. So I know that Instagram is the only app that distracts me. So I set up Opal to only allow me to use Instagram between 2 p.m. and 10 p.m. That way I do my focused work session in the morning and then I can check Instagram them and post later in the day. Another strategy that I implemented to prevent myself from binge watching TV was to only allow myself to watch Netflix or YouTube while I'm exercising, cooking, or cleaning. Definitely make the most out of these strategies because they really pay off day after day. Now that I have finished the first out of the 3 phases of the Life Mastery Challenge, I'm going to review my progress and then I will define what I'm going to do for phase 2. I'm very excited for this part, so let's just get started. I have my 30-day habit tracker right here, so I'm going to review how well I followed through with my habits. So for each of the habits, I had a goal in mind in terms of how many times a week I wanted to do them. I wrote down how many times I would have performed that habit within the 4 weeks. And then I counted how many times I actually did it over the 30-day period, so I could know my score at the end. Out of the 10 habits that I worked on for the past 30 days, 8 of them I did really well, and 1 of them I didn't do so well, and there was 1 in particular that I did better than I imagined. So overall, I'm so delighted with my progress, and I feel so aligned and empowered looking at the physical evidence that I'm putting in the work, and I'm staying consistent and accountable to my goals, to my habits. It's just like such a great feeling. Now I'm going to take a few minutes to write down my wins, lessons, and the next steps. Now it is time to reflect a little bit about the habits that I set for myself and the score that I got at the end. For the habits that I only stuck with less than 80% of the time, I like to ask myself if that habit is really important for me. And if it is important, then I ask myself, how can I make it easier for me to do this habit? Is there somebody or something that can help me to make this habit easier? And for the habits that I stuck with more than 80% of the time, I acknowledge myself for my effort and I ask myself if I need to keep tracking this habit still. For the habits that I feel like I wouldn't do them so well if I weren't tracking, I'll keep on tracking. But for the habits that I feel like are so established that I will keep doing them, I don't need to be tracking anymore, I can just stop tracking. And I also ask myself if there is anything I would like to improve about this habit. For example, the 2 habits that I had around sleep, I'm going to improve on them because the clocks have changed. Sunrise is a little earlier, so I also want to get up a little earlier as well. And for the meditation habit, because I've been doing it so well before going to bed, I feel like I don't need to keep tracking it anymore. Now that the review step is done, I'm going to define what are the habits for the next 30 days. So for that, I'll take into account my top 3 goals and ask myself what are the habits that will help me achieve these goals. So during the first phase of the challenge, 6 of the habits I had were related to my routine, to establishing a good foundation for my routine so I can feel energized and aligned every day. 4 habits were related to my business, things that would actually move the needle for me. For this month, I want to focus even more on my business, so I will have more business-related habits. So take my time now to go through my goals and set the habits for the new month. Okay, so now I finished setting up my habit tracker for the next 30 days and I'm feeling super excited about committing to this habit change. So wish me luck for the next 30 days. I'll definitely create another video showing you guys how I got on with the second phase of the Life Mastery Challenge. And having the tracker physically in my space acts as a reminder for myself of the habits that I'm building, of the goals that I'm going after. and it also keeps me motivated and focused throughout the day. So yes, here you have all the strategies and the tools that you need for your habit change. And now it's up to you to make the decision to create this change in your life. I really hope this video inspires you to build habits that will create your success. If you're interested in the Life Mastery Challenge, make sure to check out this video next. And I hope to see you there. Bye!